As a married woman, mark your territories and protect your husband, not just from enemies, but from your friends. And it's not just the women who, as a married man, mark your boundaries and protect your wife, not just from enemies, but from your friends. And when I mean your friends, I mean those you have been vibing with even long time before your wife or your girlfriend, your boyfriend or your husband. In fact, let me even focus on married couples. Now, I mean those friends you can always vouch for. You'll be like, this one, I know her very much. She cannot come for what I have. She cannot even do me bad thing. They play. You will cry last. You will not believe your eyes. You see, things are happening nowadays. And most times, now they put ourselves into some certain issues we are passing through. And I don't know if I should say willingly or unwillingly. Now, when I say you should protect your wife or your husband and mark your boundaries, I don't mean you should go and begin to fight with your friends. No, I mean you should mount your guard between your friends and your husband or your friends or your wife. You get why? In fact, sometimes you might not even stop things from happening between the both. But with your guard, you will always have the first-hand information, which will help you to make proper decisions on what to do or the action to take next. It is better that way than they broke the news suddenly. The feelings are not the same. You go cry. You will not believe your eyes. And I'm not saying you should do what I'm about to say in this video, but listen to it so that when it happens to you, you will be like, I had this thing from one video, but I failed to follow it up. You go cry. Now, as a married woman that failed to mount her guard between her husband and her friends, it might just mean that you use your hand and give your husband a cool side chicken. Yes, not chicks, full side chicken. And now it is not your husband's fault because no being go fine. Now you use your hand, carry gear, which means that your husband go they wipe you, they wipe your friend join, and your friend go they smile with you, they collect phone from you once in a while, and they pack phones from your husband, especially when your husband is rich and have some kind luxury cars. And as a married man, it might have just mean that you just married a wife for yourself and your friends.
In fact, some of you have even lost guard to the extent of you give your friend access to your matrimonial home in your own absence. You will be like, go and help me cook for my husband and put inside fridge because I will not be around for so days. I greet you. You have forgotten that the devil is always looking for the slightest opportunity to strike. Well done. You better mount your guard and order food from a restaurant, or better still, tell your husband to enter kitchen, go cook, no die yara. In fact, before he came into your life, he was not eating sand. You go cry last. You will not believe your eyes. And some of you guys will be like, hey, he's my G. He can always come around anytime and pass a night, even in my absence. I greet you, bros. Well done. In fact, before we even continue, there's this story I want you to listen to. Now, it is sounding like a story for you, but no problems. Listen to this story, and after that, I will be back. Let's go there.
You know how they say, Onye mamadu nebu madu? This is the case here. I was friends with Grace and Steph. I'm going to paint a picture of the dynamics. Grace and Steph attended the same high school. They were both friends first before I came in the picture. Steph was married, okay? Grace wasn't. Of course, I met Grace before I met Steph. Grace brought me into their friendship. Lovely girls, two of them. We got vibing. We were living life, doing things together. I would try not to go to Steph's house very often because, again, she's a married woman. You want to give her that respect. But her place was very comfortable because they had swimming pool, just comfortable overall. So we would always find ourselves ending up at Steph's place. Steph was an overall just a generous person. Like, you could come in, do whatever you want. She didn't really care. Plus, she was coming for money and her husband was working as a den with Shell, so he would always be at the rig work and then come back probably like 2 or 3 times in the month. So on this occasion, I was at Steph's house with Grace. The husband comes back. Of course, your friend's husband comes, you say hi, we exchange pleasantries. But I noticed there was this funny smile with Grace. At that point, it didn't mean anything. Genuinely, honestly, I must say, it didn't mean anything. They were friends before I came. And by the way, just for context, Grace, Steph's husband, all three of them went to the same high school. They attended the same high school. So, of course, they knew themselves. He came back. There was this thing. I don't know how to say it in English, but when somebody knows somebody behind your back. Do you get? On 2 occasions, Steph and the husband had an issue, okay? And she had shared it with us, the both of us. It wasn't a big deal. The small misunderstanding between very young couples. So I was like, Well, let him not stress you. And then Grace said, have you tried to confront him and talk about this thing? Which was not a bad advice, looking back at it now. She said, okay, she was going to do that. Fast forward to this day, I had a date and I didn't want to go by myself. So I told Grace, can you come? Can you chaperone? After a while, Grace says, oh, by the way, somebody's going to join us. So I was like, oh, what was the mystery, man? Trying to tease her. Then she said, it's nobody. He's just going to stop by to give me something and leave. So I said, okay. We continued our date, and after 30 minutes, let's call Steph's husband, Uche. Uche shows up. When I saw Uche, I know Uche. Uche is Steph's husband, okay? So I said, oh, hi, Uche. So I tapped her, Uche, because I felt like it was just a coincidence that he came to where we were, okay? Not knowing that Uche was the person Grace was expecting. Uche comes in, I get up to hug Uche. She did the same. I said, oh, meet my friend. I told him the guy's name. They both shook hands. And so I was like, what are you doing here? Then he said, he's just dropping off something with Grace. So I said, oh, Grace is the person you're expecting. She said, yes. In my mind, I didn't think anything of anything. Again, Uche, Grace, and Steph were friends. So it didn't mean anything to me. But this is the second time that something is happening behind, or like something is happening that I should be taking note of. That incident passed. We went to Steph's house. It was like a barbecue thing, an evening. And when Grace gets up to go inside, Uche will get up to go inside. I noticed it twice, but again, I just came. Okay, I didn't just come, but like these people were friends before I came into their picture. So like I said, Steph didn't really care for anything. The girl was just happy to be on earth, living her life, and just, one evening, I was with Grace. Her phone rang. So we have this thing where if our phone rings, like if you're not there, I could pick your call and tell the person to call back, you're not there. So the phone rings. Yeah. It doesn't say Uche. Pick the call and I said, hi. Then the person said, hi. So I said, oh, sorry, Grace is not here. Do you want to call back? Then the person said, oh, sure. So it's Uche's voice. Okay. Again, there's really nothing there, right? So when she comes, I'm like, girl, your phone rang. I told the person you're not here to call back. She said, okay, thank you. Takes the phone and she checks and she said, oh, it's Uche. So I said, Steph's husband? Then she said, yeah. I said, I thought as much, but you don't have his number saved. Then she said, not really. So I said, why? She said, it's a long story. So I said, Grace, what's up? Because Uche had stopped by the other day and you guys are talking like, what's up? Is this okay? Then she said, it's a long story, but it is what it is. So I said, what do you mean it is what it is? Auntie, come, please. What are you easing what is not easing? What's up? What's going on? Because now I'm beginning to put 1 and 2 together and it's starting to feel like two of them have something going on. But I don't want to jump into conclusion. So she said, what do you think? I said, no, don't ask me what I think. You cannot put that on me. I don't think anything. There's no way on earth that I'll be thinking that you're dating your friend's husband. I can't be thinking that, like, obviously not. But are you dating Stephanie's husband? She said, not, she wouldn't call it date. So I said, girl, pump your brakes. Like, hold up. Scratch that. You wouldn't call it date. You have something to do with this guy. Wait, I'm not... Ma, please have a seat, ma. We need to talk. What do you mean you will not call it date? What will you call it? What are you doing with him? Then she said, something happened sometime, something led to something. They ended up having, So my first question is this. Yeah. Does Steph knows that something happened sometime and you ended up having something with her husband? Is she aware of this? Because if she's aware, then what's my business? She's like, she doesn't know. She doesn't think so. So I said, well, but this is abnormal though. This is not right. You go to this girl's house, you eat her food, you literally spend her money sometimes. She takes you like a sister. And then here you are telling me that you don't know. And you're sleeping with her husband. Whoa, please, cut this. Just switch off this radio. It's giving frequency not found. Change the freaking channel. Okay? I got pissed. I left and I said, you know what? Miss me with this BS. Mind you, Grace had borrowed around 580,000 naira from Steph. Okay?
You get the point. And just like I said before, it is now sounding like stories for you, but you better make hay while the sun shines to avoid story at the end, because we have had stories. Are we even going to talk about the bestie? You will see a woman telling you that one man is her bestie, and you check, it's not her blood brother. The man will be like, this sister is my bestie, and you check, it's not her blood sister. Are we going to talk about the maid? Some of you will go and bring in maid and leave all the whole responsibilities for her, even to feed your husband for you with the excuses that you are busy. Before you know what is happening, your husband will begin to see potentials of a wife material in your maid. Bare 2 seconds, your maid will take over and dethrone you out of the house. Are we going to talk about sisters? Some of you will bring in your sister into your matrimonial home, which is nice, but mount your guard. You get why? If not, you go cry at the end. But anyway, what do I know, Kwano? Share your thoughts with me on the comment section. And of course, you know the vibe now. Click on that subscribe button, follow, and share for more updates. This one, we are not even going to look for part 2 of this video, because you already know the kind of action movie that will happen at the end of the whole story. Because like this, we move.